Hey, it's Keith. Listen, I wanted to talk to those of you who are struggling. You're really excited about organic church or house church. You've looked around, you've asked around, you can't find anything in your area. There's not already one close by you. And you're kind of like, now what? Like, I don't feel like I fit in at traditional church, so I'm not really probably going there. Or if I am, I kind of grit my teeth. But I'm really looking to do an organic church or a house church model, but I can't find one, and I'm kind of just waiting around for I don't know what. I'm waiting, I guess, for an expert to show up, or someone to start one in my area, or to discover there's one down the street, or maybe the next town over. What do I do? So I hope this video will help you if that's where you're at and that's where you find yourself. The first thing I want to encourage you about is, number one, you're not alone. And I mean that in two or three ways. I mean that, in one way, I mean, there are a lot of people just like you, and you can connect to them online. And I would recommend going to the Organic Church Movement Facebook group. I admin that group. And you can at least have some online connections with people who are, again, like you, excited about organic church and house church, but don't have anyone physically to meet with. The second thing that I want to say you're not alone is I really do believe, and maybe in only very special cases, that you're the only person in your town who feels this way. You're the only person in your community or your city or whatever that feels unwelcome or fulfilled in traditional church, yearns for the ekklesia in organic church, and is waiting for someone else to start one. And I feel like I can promise you that. You're not the only one. You just haven't met the other person yet. And maybe one of the ways you could meet them would be you could start one in your home, and then you could invite people or find ways to put it on the internet, put it on meetup.com, or go to the local Christian bookstore if they have a little community board and put it up on the bulletin board. Hey, curious about house church? Give me a call or email me, I'm telling you, if you do that, I really do believe you're going to find people. Maybe you've done that, and you say, Keith, I've tried that. I've tried everything I can think of. There just isn't anybody. If they are, I can't find them. Okay, so if that's you, here's the other thing I would encourage you to do. Lower your expectations in the sense that, to say, for this to be real, it has to be 10 people. For this to be real, I've got to have this huge community, or this, 10 to 15 to 20 people or something. When we started our house church 11 years ago, it was really just me and my wife and our two little boys. And on Sunday mornings, we were meeting in our home on Sunday mornings. And we had a Thursday night group that met, but even then it was maybe only, 4 or 5 people. And so it's okay if in the beginning, for example, it's just you and your wife, or maybe you and a good friend, if you're not married, or if your wife or your husband isn't, feeling called to this. But I would just encourage you to meet with whoever you can. And maybe it's just you and the Lord. And you know what? If it's just you and the Lord, but set aside the time and still do it. Still set aside an hour or two to focus on Jesus, either alone or with one other person or maybe 2 other people. Again, it's okay to be small. Don't despise the day of small beginnings, right? It's okay to start small and to faithfully, as you come together, again, with whoever will meet with you, but to do it on a consistent basis. And part of what you should be doing is praying, Lord, increase our number, add to the church daily, help us find them and help them to find us, the other people that are near where you live in your community who are hungry and thirsty for the same thing that you're hungry for. I would also say this, that I think, and I touched on this at the Unconference in Nashville, that I think there's a problem where sometimes what happens is we're waiting for the expert, we're waiting for the guru, we're waiting for the apostle or someone to show up, to roll into town, and to do some big church planting thing because they're the expert. Please don't do that. I don't believe in that. Our group didn't start that way. We just felt God calling us. We stepped out. We started doing it. God started bringing people to us. I do think you need to pray about it. I do think you need to be sure that the Holy Spirit really has spoken to you about doing this. But I believe if you are convinced that the Holy Spirit is drawing you in this direction, and there is no other, no one else has stepped forward to do this, I would encourage you that the expert you're waiting for is living inside of you. That Jesus, who's the one who, by the way, builds the church, builds the ekklesia, he's alive within you. And trusting him moment by moment, day by day, to do the building, to do the gathering, to do the leading, is the best thing you can do. That's the best advice I can give you. So I would encourage you, if you're still searching for something, you don't have a community yet, start small and be consistent. If it's just you and the Lord, do that. If it's just you and your spouse, do that. And your kids, do that. You and one other person, 2 other people, do that. And start small, but do it with the expectation that the Lord will build his ekklesia. He will honor your stepping out in faith to do what little you can. What it is a demonstration of your hunger and your thirst and your intention to move in this direction. And I would encourage you to do that. And I may do a few others in this series, just very practical things I would suggest. But I really couldn't give you better advice than this. Start small, start simply, be consistent, seek the Lord, pray, and ask him. And just take the first step, and then take the second step, and see what the Lord does. And I would love if you would do that, if you've done that, especially if you do that after listening to this video, and share testimonies. Let me know if God does add to your number daily. Let me know if God does honor that step of faith, okay? I'd appreciate it. And we'll talk soon. God bless. Bye-bye.